For day 8, we're doing applications. If we think about this shark, okay, sometimes sharks jump out of the water. Do they fly off? No, they land back in the water, right? So they go up, they jump out, maybe they're grabbing something, or maybe they're just playing around, okay? And they land back in the water. All right, so this is a real life situation that could happen. So we could track what's going on, and I could put this on a coordinate plane. What would this point right here represent? Where the shark is starting. So when he's down here, is he in the water or out of the water? In the water. So right here at time 0, so this is time going this way, and this is what? How high? Good. So this would maybe be feet, right? So at 0 seconds in, he is 0 feet, so he's just hitting the surface of the water. What would this represent then? Where he lands back into the water. So we can say like, oh, this would probably be pretty fast, right? Maybe at 1 second in, he's back in the water. So he jumps out and he lands in it. Takes him 1 second, one whole second to do all that. What would this represent? This very top.
4 feet.
The highest. How else can we say the highest?
The peak.
The peak? How about another word starting with an M? Max. Very good. So I could look at this and say, oh, he has a maximum height. Jason wants to say 4 feet.
4.
Okay, so he's leaving 4 feet. This is all just some kind of example we're thinking about, right? All right. We will be looking at these different things. I could ask you, at what point is the shark hitting the surface of the water? How many times, how many answers should we have?
1.
2. 2 times he hits the surface of the water.
Feet in a second.
Yeah, how about if I said, how many times does he hit his max?
1.
Once. 4 feet right there. How many seconds in? About a half a second. How many times is he at 2 feet out of the water?
1.
2.
Twice.
2 times. Okay, so this is a good way to make sense of our answers. So let's go ahead and look at our notes here. So day 8 applications. Our regular quadratic formula, let's ignore this h, it's something, variable squared, plus something, same variable, plus something. That's standard form. ax squared plus bx plus c. All right, but if we set it equal to something, it's usually the height. T would be standing for time. V would be standing for velocity. And S for starting height. Are those super important for you to remember right now? No. Okay, but if you like to make sense of all of your answers, then there's that. All right, so let's look at this first example. And well, here's a guy kicking a football. So there's another way we could look at it. We could look at it as a rocket ship taking off and landing, something like that, without it going into orbit. Chase, do you have these notes? All right, so it says a dolphin jumping out of the water is modeled by the function h equals negative 2t squared plus 8t. After how many seconds is the dolphin at a height of 6 feet? Height of 6 feet means plug in 6 for h. So we have 6 equals negative 2t squared plus 8t. In order to solve, so now I'm solving for t, I need to get it set equal to 0. So I need everything to be on one side. Additionally, I want, so I'm going to write myself a note. Set equal to 0. Make sure the t squared is positive. So would I move the 6 to the right or everything else to the left? Everything else to the left, because this t squared right now is negative. But if I want it to be positive, I should take that to the left side. So what am I going to do? I'm going to be adding 2t squared. So 2t squared would go here. I'm going to be subtracting 8t. So bringing it to the other side would be minus 8t. And the 6 would stay the same. So plus 6 equals 0. Okay, so now I'm thinking, what method could I use to solve? We have a lot of different methods. We could take out a GCF because I see that they're all even. We could X factor. We could quadratic formula. These are all options that you have. It does not say solve using this method. So whatever one you want to use, go for it. All right, if we just go ahead and start with the X, we didn't realize we could take out a GCF. Totally fine if we didn't. At the top, A times C. So 2 times 6 is 12. At the bottom, B, negative 8. What two numbers multiply to 12, add to negative 8? Negative 2, negative 6. When I multiply them, I get a positive, which is good. When I add them, they stay negative. Perfect. Can I use my shortcut? No. Have to split the b term. So 2t squared. Then let's drop down the minus 2t. Then the minus 6t. Then the plus 6. Factor by grouping. So see if you can group and factor this now. So I'm going to regroup, first two together, last two together, plus in between them. 2t squared and 2t, I can divide out 2t. 2t squared divided by 2t is just t. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. T divided by t cancel. Over here, I can take out a 6, and it should be negative because I want it to be matching, positive, negative. Right now it's negative, positive, so I have to flip the signs. Negative 6t divided by negative 6 is positive t. 6 divided by negative 6 is negative 1. I know that I'm probably on the right track because my parentheses match. So now I'm going to factor out my match. So factor out t minus 1. Factor out 2t minus 6. Am I done? Very good. No, I have to set them equal to 0 because I want to know when is it height of 6, so I have to solve actually. So t minus 1 equals 0. 2t minus 6 equals 0. Add 1 to both sides. T equals 1. Add 6 to both sides. 2t equals 6. Divide by 2. So t equals 3. So our answer is 1 and 3. What does that mean?
Starts at 1 and 3.
Okay, so 1 is here, 2, 3 is here. All right, so that means our these aren't our x's. That means the dolphin is 6 feet high. We'll go 2, 4, 6. The dolphin is 6 feet high 2 separate times. So something like that. The max is not 6. The max is past 6, a little bit higher. Does that make sense? Okay. The next one says, how long before the dolphin hits the water again? So, I didn't leave you a ton of room, but what I'm asking is, when is the dolphin on the water? So what would height be if the dolphin was at the water surface? 0. So I'm going to put 0 in. 0 equals negative 2t squared plus 8t. So water again H equals 0 is what we just did. This one's a little bit easier because all we have to do is factor out a GCF. I don't have to make sure the first term is positive because I can just factor out a negative. 2 and 8, I can divide both of those by 2. I'll take out the negative though.
And a T.
And a t. So negative 2t squared divided by negative 2t is just t. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. T divided by t cancel. Set each of those equal to 0, so negative 2t equals 0. T minus 4 equals 0. So here, divide by negative 2, so t equals 0.
Yeah.
Add 4, so t equals 4. My question was, how long before the dolphin hits the water again? So 4 seconds. Because the 0 seconds is like right when we are starting.
Clear that.
It's an emergency. I don't want you to miss these.
Okay. After this,
Okay.
after this.
Okay. How long does, how high does the dolphin jump? What am I asking you for? The max. All right, so let's think about this. We thought about my shark that I did earlier. The max was right in the middle of the 2 times. So what's in the middle of the 2 times here? It hits the water at 0 seconds and 4 seconds. So that tells me 2 seconds in is the max, right? So now it's asking me, set h equal to 2 and figure out how high does he actually get to go. So write yourself that note. Max height is halfway. So 2 seconds. Plug in. We're trying to find h. So we're going to plug t equals to 2. It's a lot of abstract thinking. Think about this as a real world situation. Picture that dolphin jumping out of the water. So h equals negative 2 t squared, so 2 seconds. So 2 squared plus 8 times t, which is 2. So what is 2 squared? 4. What's negative 2 times 4? Negative 8 plus 8 times 2 is 16. What is negative 8 plus 16? 8 feet. So the max height is 8 feet. The height max.
Did you just put n equals?
H equals, yeah. That's fine. All right, so let's just do a couple more like that. That one has the most going on. The others will ask you less questions. Number 2, the equation h equals negative 16t squared plus 1000t represents a rocket launched. How long will it take for the rocket to land on the ground? So we're assuming this rocket is not going into orbit. It's just going up and then coming back down.
Like that one.
All right. So how long will it take for the rocket to land on the ground? What is the height for the ground? H equals 0. So we're going to plug in 0 in for h. So 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 1000t. There is no c term. What's the easiest method if there is no c? GCF.
Yeah.
16 and 1000. What's the biggest number I can divide by?
Probably 16.
We'll see. Let's see. So I'm going to go math. Arrow over to num. Option 9. 16 comma 1000. 8.
Oh.
Okay, another way you can do that is, okay, well, 1,000. Let's see if 16 goes in. Divided by 16. Not evenly. 1,000. Divided by 2. Yep, that goes in evenly, but that's still even, so bigger.
So now do 16 divided by 2.
We want to take out an 8. And I'm going to make the first term positive, so I'm going to take out a negative 8. It would work if you didn't, Michael. It would work if you didn't take out a negative 8, but just to continue to be consistent, let's take out a negative. So negative 8, someone let him in, please. T squared and t. I can take out a t. Negative 16 divided by negative 8 is 2. T. 1,000 divided by negative 8 is negative 125. The t's cancel. If you don't like the equals 0 on the left, you could tack it on this side. Now I'm going to set each chunk equal to 0. So negative 8t equals 0. Divide by negative 8. So t equals 0. That's takeoff. So I don't really care about takeoff. That makes sense that t is 0. For the other one, 2t minus 125 equals 0. Add 125 to both sides. 2t equals 125. Divide by 2. So t equals 62.5. It's time. It does not tell you if this is seconds, but it's probably seconds. Okay, so this is the landing. This is the actual answer that we want. This is set up a lot like your performance event on your test.
Wait, when we took 16 divided by 1,000, it gave us 62.5.
This time it works like that.
Okay.
All right. Lastly, it says explain the method that we use. We took out a GCF, so we you can just call that your method. If you did the X method, factoring X method. If you use the quadratic formula, that's what you would write. Questions? Flip it over.
We have to find the takeoff, like in this case, we have to find the takeoff.
This one,
before landing.
I would write it like as is. This one is set up a lot like that performance event. Last question, it says, at the Cardinals game, they shoot shirts out of a large slingshot into the crowd. The equation, h equals negative 4t squared plus 20t, represents the path of the shirt. After how many seconds will the shirt reach a height of 16 feet? So we're going to plug in 16 in for h, right there. So we have 16 equals negative 4t squared plus 20t. I want to get it all set equal to 0. Additionally, I want the first term, the t squared, to be positive. So I'm going to take everything and bring it to the left. So when I bring this t squared term to the left, what happens? Term's positive. I'm adding it. So this is 4t squared. I'm subtracting 20t. So minus 20t. And this 16 is positive, so plus 16. Equals 0. Is there a number that they all can be divided by?
Yeah.
What?
2.
2 and 4. Okay, 4 is the biggest. If I take out a 4, let's see what happens. So write this little note. Take out GCF. We've done this before. This helps us deal with smaller numbers. So if I take out a 4, can I take out any variables?
Yeah, t.
No, because this one doesn't have a t. All right, so I'm just taking out a 4. So 4t squared divided by 4 is
T squared.
just t squared.
Can you, why would you divide it by a T?
Because the 16 doesn't have a t. So I can't take out any t's if they all don't have one to give up. Now negative 20t divided by 4, negative 5t, great job. 16 divided by 4,
Plus 4.
plus 4, fantastic. Okay, so now I can't really forget about this 4 out front, but I can leave it be for now. If I go ahead and do my x, what is my a?
1,
1. What is my b?
-5,
What is my c?
4.
4. Good. All right, if I go ahead and do the x, a times c at the top, 1 times 4 is 4. At the bottom, b, -5. What two numbers multiply to 4, add to -5?
-5, 4.
-5 and a negative, or wait,
-5
-4 and 1.
Yeah.
Because -4 times -1 is +4. And then when I add them together, I get -5. Perfect. Can I use a shortcut?
Yes.
Because my first term is now 1, we took out the GCF, I can use my shortcut. So I'm going to drop this 4 down, so it's 4, and then 2 parentheses. T is the letter we're using, that'll go in the front. It's a -4, so t minus 4. And a -1, so t minus 1. All of that equals 0. So I still have to solve. So I'm setting each piece equal to 0. So here, 4 equals 0. Is that true? Does 4 equal 0?
No.
No. So this is where we get to throw that out for the solving portion. If it just said factor, I have to leave that red answer. If it said like we're solving, then that's when it gets to go away. Here, t minus 4 equals 0. I might actually go ahead and write this over here, just so I can have room. T minus 4 equals 0. Add 4. So t equals 4 seconds. So at 4 seconds in, it's at 16 feet high. So now t minus 1 equals 0. Plus 1. So t equals 1 second. So at 2 times, it's 16 feet high. So that means 1 second in, so it's going up. It's 16 feet high, it's going up, and then it comes back down. So 4 seconds in, it's on its way down, and it's back at 16 feet high. So somewhere between those two, it hits its max height. Explain the method we used. So first, what did we do? First GCF, then we X factored, so X method. Last question for today. After how many seconds will the shirt reach the ground?
5.
5.
All right.
4
Good.
seconds to go up and 1 second. No, it takes 1 second to go up, 4 seconds. Oh.
I like your thought processes. So if I couldn't like problem solve through this like you guys are talking about right now, what could I do?
Just add.
No. Plug in what? What is the height of the ground? 0. Set h equal to 0. That's the method I would rather you use. Okay.
Oh.
Set h equal to 0. So 0 equals -4t squared plus 20t. Factor out your GCF.
14.
4t.
Well, -4.
Yeah. Do you guys want to see what happens if I don't do a negative? Just in
No.
case you forget.
Sure.
Okay. If you forgot, -4 divided by 4 is -1t. 20t divided by 4t is 5 equals 0. Set each of these equal to 0. 4t equals 0. Divide by 4. T equals 0. So 0 seconds in times 0 It's on the ground. The next one, negative 1t plus 5 equals 0. Subtract 5. Negative 1t equals 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Is that done? Nah, because of the negative in front of the t. So if we had taken a negative out in the beginning, we would just have easier steps in the end.
Yep.
That's it. Divide by negative 1, so t equals 5 seconds.